Another day, another bevy of hashtags. This week we have to the boys, to the girls, and equal pay. Equal pay is an old one. Look, here's the problem. This 77 cents on the dollar figure, it just isn't accurate. It doesn't take into account all manner of different factors. It doesn't take into account hours worked, it doesn't take into account pay negotiations, it doesn't take into account time off, field of employment, or anything like that. It's like the campus rape statistics. It's just wrong. And it fails to take into account a huge number of factors. And yeah, it's parroted by politicians, and people are in a position to do something about it. If it was 77 cents on the dollar, then that would be a huge scandal, and it would be something that would have to be addressed. But it's not. And the trouble with using bad statistics is that you can't know what you actually need to do to fix a problem if you can't be sure that a problem even exists. So, why does it keep coming up? I think the reason it keeps coming up is pretty simple. It's budgetary and it's attention based. Because if you overstate the threat and if you whip up panic, then people are more likely to reach for their pocketbook and they're more likely to do something. So if your activism is contingent upon the idea that women are necessarily treated horribly in society, then paradoxically you need to make sure that everyone believes that women are treated horribly in society. And the more you overblow that, the more you pump it up, the more funding you get, the more important you feel, the more justified you feel. It's like when budget time comes around for the military, they will often play up threats, you know. Mr. President, we definitely need these diamond-encrusted laser wangs to fight off the Martian invasion. Oh, is there a real threat of Martian invasion? Oh, absolutely, sir, absolutely. The threat level is off the chart. Well, here's a blank check, I'll just write you that. Okay. And it's the same with this stuff. The more you overstate it, the more likely you are to get money. And the more money you're likely to get, and the better you feel, and all the rest of it. So, and this is a problem with a lot of activism. It doesn't seem to be actually about solving the issue, because you can't solve an issue if you start from bad premises, bad stats, bad data, because you're not actually identifying where and what the problem is. In certain fields, it does seem that there is a pay gap that doesn't seem to derive from anything except gender. But those issues get obscured by this grandiose 77 cents on the dollar statistic that gets bandied around. And there are areas in which men get paid less, and that gets covered up by this as well. For us to be able to make any solution to any problem, you have to start from good data, and we're not. So, the other thing that came along was To the Girls, which is the latest in a long string of, seems weekly, women-boosting, female-related hashtags that come up, which, you know, is fair enough to an extent, but it always follows the same pattern. A women-only hashtag comes up, it fills with vitriol towards men. Men and boys set up their own hashtag, usually in response to this, which you would think would be a good thing, you know, since it's spurring men and boys to talk about their own issues or whatever. And then it turns into a shit fight between the two, and it's just pointless, really. So what's to be done about that? Should anything be done about that? The hostility that shows in these tags, and the fact that they're weekly, almost, it seems like, it's worrying. And then when a man's response tag shows up, like To the Boys, that instantly fills with even more vitriol, and much more directed vitriol towards men and boys from women. They say, oh, can't women just have this one thing? Well, you have this one thing every other week. And it's always the same. It fills up with stuff that portraying men and boys as terrible, and it seems to be less about women than about hating on men a lot of the time. And what there is often narcissistic, irresponsible bullshit. Yeah, here's the hard truth, ladies. Not everyone is beautiful, you know, and you're not necessarily healthy at whatever size you are. Yeah, obesity is real. If it takes a team of skilled workers and a forklift 3 hours just to get you to the bathroom, then you may have an issue with your weight. Yeah, there's a fine line between, well, not that fine a line, between accepting your body and ignoring problems. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, obesity isn't a lifestyle choice. Isn't an alternative lifestyle choice. It's an all too conventional death style choice. And the hypocrisy and the irony of saying, you know, can't we have this one thing all to ourselves? It's no good to anyone, really. This stuff, it just creates division. This pseudo feminist feel good self-help kind of nonsense that you get on these things. It's like inspirational Twitter. It's just fucking annoying, and it's stereotypical nonsense. I should probably either make more videos or go back to bed and get some more sleep. It's just, can't we move together on an egalitarian basis to solve problems for everyone in a holistic fashion, rather than seeming to suggest that the answer to racism is more racism, and the answer to sexism is more sexism? It just seems counterintuitive to me. And if we are ever going to solve any problems, whether they're real problems or not, we have to start from good data. That would be my appeal for the day. Peace out.